Hey everyone, this is David Brown with the migration update for May 7th, 2022 from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. Today was sunny with strong northeast winds, and even laying in bed when I woke up this morning I could hear those winds, and I was not looking forward to going and standing out in those cold winds for 8 hours. That is until I got out there and there were sharp-shinned hawks flying everywhere. This was a huge sharp-shinned hawk day. They were flying sideways in the morning with the strong wind, but for some reason the sharp-shins wanted to push through today, so it ended up being a pretty good day. Here we have a juvenile Sharpie. And this photo is not great, but it's an adult female northern harrier. We're not seeing very many adults anymore. Most of the adults have already migrated through, so most of the harriers we're seeing are juveniles, so this one caught my eye. Here we have a merlin looking down below it. Beware to any songbirds down below, and actually there were two of them that came through together. And I kind of like this upper side shot because I believe that this is a male. You can see these bluer feathers coming in, so I think this is probably a bird that was born last year that's just starting to get some of the adult feathers. When we're looking at merlins, the adult males are more blue than the females or the juveniles. And another underside look at either the same merlin or the other one that was flying with it. Here we have another sharp-shinned hawk. They push these wrists forward and the head barely sticks out past it. Small-headed overall, and very squared off tip to the tail. Here we have an osprey carrying a big fish, and there was a bald eagle not far behind him hoping to steal the fish. Here's another Sharpie. And the Sharpies were coming through low today, and I would say most of them were more out towards the lake, but there were a decent number that came pretty close to the platform and let me get decent photos. Here's another juvenile Sharpie coming right overhead, and you can see how tucked in it is. With the northeast winds like we had today, that's a headwind for the birds. Although east would be more of a true headwind, but it's still a bit of a headwind for them, so they really tuck in and fight into the wind. And take a look at this northern harrier, a very striking looking bird, very clean looking, but actually juvenile harriers start out more kind of orangish underneath, and they only look like this in the spring when their underside is worn and it turns more of this buff color, I guess they call it, or white. So these very clean underparts are actually the result of feather wear, but yeah, just a very striking looking juvenile. Here's an American kestrel that's missing most of its tail. Here we have another juvenile sharp-shinned hawk. Remember, the juveniles have kind of this messy vertical brown streaking. It's a little bit different than the cleaner looking teardrop streaking you see on Cooper's hawks, which is usually more concentrated on the upper breast and then a little less as you get down lower. On Sharpies, it just looks a little more thick overall. And if we take a look at this angle, I just wanted to point out the tail, that the outer tail feathers do look slightly shorter than the inner ones, and that's perfectly fine for Sharpies. On a Cooper's hawk, the outer tail feathers are significantly shorter, but on some Sharpies, especially the larger females, you will see slightly shorter outer tail feathers. Here we have a peregrine falcon that was out over the bay. And here we have another sharp-shinned hawk. You can see a very squared off or even slightly notched tail on this one. That's usually the males that have that. And remember, the males are smaller than the females. But the other thing I want to point out about this bird is the whole time I flew by, this leg was dropped down, which makes me suspect that this leg was probably injured. And we notice that this bird is an adult. Here we have a southern juvenile bald eagle. Remember, when I say southern juvenile, I'm talking about these very fresh plumage bald eagles that were born to the south of us over the winter. And this blurry, out-of-focus bird in the background, I believe, is a red-tailed hawk. Here's another good example of what I was just talking about with the tail of female sharp-shinned hawks. So this is a sharp-shin, but we can see that the outer tail feathers are shorter than the central ones by a noticeable amount. And again, that's something that female sharp-shinned hawks can show, so it's just one more thing that makes it confusing to separate them from Cooper's hawks. But we know this is a sharp-shin just from the overall size when it went by. The head's relatively short, kind of stockier looking wings. Here's a turkey vulture that wandered somewhat close, and I just included it because I feel like I haven't put any turkey vulture photos in my videos recently. Here we have an adult red-tailed hawk. Remember, dark patagial bars, belly band, and the adults have a dark trailing edge to the wing and a red tail. Here's yet another juvenile sharp-shinned hawk. And again, we can just see kind of those messy patterning on the breast. Very different from that teardrop streaking of the Cooper's hawk. And we'll end with one more adult sharp-shinned hawk. And again, you can see that really squared off tail tip, maybe even slightly notched. If we take a look at eBird, today I had 53 species. And I didn't really do much songbirding just because the wind was so strong. I just pretty much stuck to the platform. I don't think there was very much going on in the bushes just because of the strong winds. And if we take a look at hawk count for our migrant raptor totals, today we had 73 turkey vultures, 2 osprey, 7 bald eagles, 6 northern harriers, 260 sharp-shinned hawks, 3 Cooper's hawks, 1 red-tailed hawk, 4 American kestrels, 3 merlins, and 1 peregrine falcon, for a total of 360 migrants today. And if we look at the forecast, it's more of the same northeasterly winds. Tomorrow will be mainly sunny with a high around 50, winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So winds won't be as strong as they were today. And I'll have a decision to make. Today I stuck at the platform the whole day just because I figured the winds were too strong. There wouldn't really be anything happening over at Frisbee Hill. So I would prefer just to stick at the platform and pick up the sharp-shinned hawk flight. So that same thing may happen tomorrow. If the winds are on the lighter end and I think there might be some broadwings or turkey vultures in at Frisbee Hill, I might move over there. But I'll start at the platform and see what happens. For Monday, very similar, mostly sunny, high in the mid-50s, winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So again, very similar conditions to today and tomorrow. So I would see how tomorrow goes, and Monday will pretty much be the same. And for Tuesday, we're looking at mainly sunny, high in the low 60s, so a bit warmer, winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And if there's still sharp-shins moving, that could be another good day to get a sharp-shinned hawk flight low over the platform. Those easterly winds are a headwind for the birds, and sometimes that keeps the flight lower overall. And the warmer temperatures give me a little bit of hope that there might be more migrants showing up. I know everyone's still waiting for all the warblers to show up. They're slowly trickling in, but sometime over the next week we're going to get a big influx of songbirds, and hopefully we'll get some more raptors too. All right, that's it for today. And today ended up being unexpectedly good, so let's hope that the big sharp-shinned hawk flight continues the next few days as well. And had really good looks at some birds today, so hopefully that will continue. So maybe I'll see some of you out at the platform soon. If you like this video, please hit the like button and be sure to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any of these daily updates from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. This is David Brown. Thanks for watching.